All right, Adam. What movie are we watching?
That's an attention getter.
Well, I found out when we did a while back Cannonball Run that you had not seen another great racing movie that is a classic, and that's Smokey and the Bandit. So we're going to finally get you to watch this classic Burt Reynolds movie, Smokey and the Bandit, with Jackie Gleason.
I gave you clear instruction, Adam. I ask what you're saying. You say Smokey and the Bandit, and then I go, never seen it. And then you put in a catchy theme song to open up this episode, and it would have been this great cold open. Instead, you had to get all Wikipedia on me, and I didn't get to get my haven't seen it moment. Or would it be haven't seen it, never saw it, something. I don't know. We'll get to it. We'll work with it.
Well, in any case, you haven't seen it, so, you know.
I have not seen it.
It is a movie I have seen I don't know how many times, and it's a really fun movie. Actually, Burt Reynolds makes a reference to it in Cannonball Run.
Could get a black Trans Am. No, that's been done.
Which you didn't get that joke because you hadn't seen the movie. You know, it is one of his most popular roles he's ever done, and it's a travesty that you have not watched this movie before. Just saying. That's our plan to watch, and I think without too much extra further ado, we can talk more about the movie after it's done, but let's just go ahead and jump into the movie and get it started.
We really do need to work out a system where I'm eating popcorn during these, and it doesn't just blow up in the mic, because it is weird not doing a reaction you can't eat. I mean, like watching a movie and you can't eat something. We're gonna make a milkshake, or just don't drink from the straw when it gets really low.
Hey, I don't have an icy machine to enjoy an icy while I watch a movie, so, you know, we're both going without. I mean, whenever I go to a movie theater, I generally get a tall icy, so.
You do. I know this. Do you think that playing the audio from this song would get a copyright strike at this point? Are we far enough removed where it... No? I don't know.
This isn't the famous song from this movie.
I'm just saying, like, who's out there hunting down this song? Make sure... I don't mean to disrespect whoever sings the song. I have no idea. I'm actually probably going to Google it because I don't want to be yelled at in the comments.
Might be Jerry Reed, because I know he sings the title, the main popular song from this, Eastbound and Down.
Oh, yeah. It is Jerry Reed.
Who is also in this movie playing, I guess you could say Burt Reynolds' sidekick.
Yeah. Well, all good here. Nothing to worry about. Just a big dummy wall. Of course.
You know, trucking Coors beer east of Texas is bootlegging. This here's Georgia, son.
Oh, the issue was the beer. My bad.
Yeah.
Thought it was hiding something better.
No, you couldn't take beer out of certain states or across certain lines and stuff like that back in the day.
That shows you what kind of movies and shows I've been watching late, where I'm like, well, there's clearly like heroin behind that beer, and I'm like, oh, now we have an issue with someone, transporting the taste of the Rockies.
Right.
Speedier than that. Go ahead.
I like that he has enough cash in his pocket that could pay for a car at that time.
Cars were a little bit cheaper than they are now.
Because I've got to go in the morning to Kanye's and pick up a load of manure. Shitty job. Can I ask you a question? Sure, ask me. You mean to tell me
That's Jerry Reed, the one who sings
Yeah.
a lot of the songs.
and back to here in
Yeah,
3
yeah.
hours?
It's only 900 miles there and 900 miles back.
Okay. Oh. Well, God almighty, would you look at that?
So they got 28 hours to get to Texarkana, Texas, and back to Georgia with 400 cases of beer.
To deliver Coors.
Right.
There's a snowman out there. Am I hitting your sign?
Well, there weren't as many, craft beer options back then. There certainly wasn't any Iron Maiden beer back then.
Adam trying to plug a sponsor so he can get his icy machine.
So there's two versions of this song. There's Westbound Bound to Down and Eastbound to Down.
Yeah.
Little fourth wall there.
Yeah, a little breaking of the fourth wall there. I didn't see that coming.
So they're already arriving in Texarkana. So obviously the bulk of this movie is not the trip to, but the trip back.
Spoilers, Adam.
He was just by this sign that said Texarkana. Wasn't exactly a spoiler when they said they were going to Texarkana, and he's at the sign that says
Who knows?
Texarkana.
Maybe they would have had another. Maybe they would have had another assignment. They would have.
They're on a
gone
time
to another
schedule.
state.
They're on a timetable.
Jesus. I spent years driving a forklift, and that was uncomfortable for me.
Some PTSD there from it?
Also spent years drinking beer, also uncomfortable for me.
Sorry, I don't want to get married.
Terrific. That makes 2 of us. Will you unzip me?
Sure.
Okay, Sally Field.
Yeah, they did a few movies together. They were also a couple, I think, around this time as well.
What do you mean? These are great little legs. I'm a professional.
Well, in that case, you shouldn't be dressed in white.
Dancer.
Oh.
Are we really going 110? We're going 110. Why do you wear that cowboy hat? I know, because you think it looks dazzling on you. Oh, you have no idea when I bought this wedding dress, it was going to be so hard to get out of.
She shifted from being concerned they were going 110 and just immediately goes right into his cowboy hat. Like, wow, we got a lot going on here. This is Jackie Gleason.
Yep.
There he is.
Bang, zoom to the moon.
Hold up in our car wash, gentlemen. Whoops. Now, a lady in a wedding gown.
Yes, sir.
Get in the car
Yes, sir.
and don't go home. Don't go to eat. And don't play with yourself. It wouldn't look nice on my highway.
What?
You can think about it, but don't.
What the hell's that? I feel like he really wanted them to do that.
Yeah, apparently doesn't want them playing with themselves on the side of the road.
But they can think about it. Just don't do it. Like, he really spent a lot of time giving them sort of the T's and C's of that one.
Where'd you get that seat cover, son?
Oh,
No,
so
this
one
ain't
night-
no seat cover.
One night I was standing out in the parking lot with I met this guy. These can't be my pants. God, he was good looking. And he had this hat on, and
Funny,
he
ain't
was
she?
tall, and
She insulted my authority.
Yeah.
And that's nothing but pure and simple old-fashioned communism. Happens every time one of those dancers start poontanging around with those show folk facts.
Hey, is she wearing a wedding dress? She was.
What's she wearing now?
Hey, you got peanut butter something in your ears? Tell me what that woman's got on. Her mine?
Decorating up a whole town at a cost of $40.
Right.
I can see her.
$40 to decorate the whole town.
hey, would a cop taking a leak on the side of the road interest you?
Yes, it would. He's taking a 10-100.
Well, at least it's better than 10-200.
Do a little plot check here. His
Okay.
whole goal is to hit up every possible speed trap, what have you, so they're distracted and truck keeps going, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, they pay attention to him and not the truck.
Right. Jesus.
Them things are fabulous.
I think I just went 10-100.
No, it's better than 10-200.
That's
I mean, you're not going to miss that truck, that's for sure, with that painting on the side.
Yeah, it's like a cigarette ad along the whole side of the truck, but
My handle's Smokey Bear, and I'm tail grabbing your ass right now.
God damn, it's a Texas Mountie. What the hell's he doing in Arkansas?
I don't know.
so as I usually do when I watch movies that I'm not being recorded watching, I did look up the rules was Coors. It was Coors specifically in this case. I was trying to understand why this was illegal, right? And it was such a regional product. It was only made in Colorado, of course, up to a certain point. It wasn't pasteurized. It had no preservatives, so shipping was an issue, and it didn't get national distribution until 1986. So in the 70s, it wasn't licensed to sell east of the Mississippi. So for a brief period of time, it was rare, and as is the premise of this movie, you get rich people that'll just pay money to have it delivered to them.
Yeah, I think my dad would drink it whenever we went to visit my grandmother in Texas. Because one of my grandparents on my mom's side lived in Texas, and I think my dad would drink it anytime he was down there.
What?
Frog.
Why?
Because you're always hopping around. And you're kind of cute like a frog, and I'd like to jump.
A lot with that analogy there.
Nobody'll make Sheriff Buford T Justice look like a possum's becker.
Except for that.
Your ass.
How many takes did Jackie Gleason do of some of these lines?
He's got all the best ones, really.
It almost reminds me of like a Judd Apatow film where like every line you knew they did like 12 different takes and they just kind of pick random ones.
Don't you hear good?
I hear perfectly. The fact that you are a sheriff is not germane to the situation.
The goddamn Germans got nothing to do with it. What do you say? Gotta one shit at a time. Well, you keep your wheels spinning and the beavers grinning then, huh? I'm out.
Who's this guy?
Just a random
the
trucker.
officer. Oh, I thought for a minute there I thought the officer was like putting him up to that.
Did you see that? They went right through our roadblock.
You some bitches couldn't close an umbrella.
Listen, I don't care if your daddy is the mayor. You wreck this car, it's gonna come out of your pay.
Yeah, but Sheriff, he's getting away.
I like that they added a little exposition that this guy's dad is the mayor. Like how important is that to any of this?
Right.
Hey, boy, where's Sheriff Bradford?
I am Sheriff Branford.
What the hell is the world coming to?
A little racist.
How much owe you, ma'am?
$1.50 for 2 cheeseburgers and an iced tea.
It checks out.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper. Make it fast. I'm in a goddamn hurry. You want something?
Hush, puppy, Daddy.
We got no time for that.
No matter what he would have answered with, he would have been irritated with.
Right.
Hush puppies set him off.
Hell of a... Really? Was he a bank robber?
Bank robbing his baby kid alongside of what this dude is doing. Thank you, nice lady.
Sure thing. Woohoo, Sheriff.
Nice act.
Notice I don't think he got him those hush puppies.
Nope.
Oh my God!
I always did like the T-top design.
You're gonna be talking out of your ass.
Paid for it literally out of pocket.
Daddy, the top came off.
No shit.
That's the way I want to go out. That's the best way.
Hey man, what?
All right, that was pretty good. You're just gonna cut in on the conversation of them just talking about ways they want to die.
I just love how beat up this car gets the further into the movie we get.
You off, Daddy? I hope you're goddamn head. Can you say anything?
Yeah, it's a football game. Can we watch, Daddy?
Hey, you stay and watch the game. I'm going back.
Got a lot of concern for his son, can't you tell?
Always run into complications. You know what the complications are? How are we doing time-wise? You run into some chick, we ain't doing no good on the time at all.
I like that. The dog. I like that Fred gets some food.
Right.
Meanwhile, Buford T. Justice, his son, doesn't get his hush puppies.
I just go from place to place and do what I do best.
What's that?
Show off.
Yeah. You do that well.
Look at the road. Okay. It's such a movie thing that drives me insane.
Right.
Come here, Fred. Come here, boy. Come on. Fred, don't you make me come after you. Get over here, Fred. Come here. I'm in a hurry and you want to take a swim. You drive me crazy, Fred. You just...
Right. Have a smooth ride, Mr. Bandit.
Thank you, brother.
Oof.
Hello there, snowman. I'm right beside you, son. Looks like we got a clear shot all the way. Sarge, here he comes.
Yeah, I got eyes.
You know the move. Yep. There you go. Cut. And...
You ready, Roy?
Oh, I thought he was just going to peel off road.
Sarge, you okay? You see me moving, don't you?
That guy's dad's the mayor. I need to know how that comes into play in this movie.
No, that's a different guy.
Oh, are we... You sure about that?
Yeah, that was in Arkansas. They're in Alabama now.
I know. I kind of thought maybe that was the joke. It looked like the same guy. Just holding this guy's hat the entire time. And not getting his hush puppies.
Right. Or getting to watch the football game.
Yeah, well, there's that too. That was a ridiculous request. Asking for a bite to eat. I mean, come on. He's still holding a hat.
Good shit. You did that on purpose.
What's happening here?
Well, you agree. I got the evidence. Put the evidence in the car.
But
You
Daddy,
put the evidence in the car. Put the evidence in the back.
I was going to say, I'm surprised he's not going to make him hold the door
Hold on,
onto the
hold on.
car for the rest of the drive.
Way that you could come from my loins. Soon as I get home, the first thing I'm gonna do is punch your mama in the mouth.
Jeez. I was going to say, I mean, this is where they bang, right? I mean, at this point, this guy's been just dying to make that happen.
Well, he did offer for her to jump him.
I don't even know if it was an offer. I'm pretty sure it was a... He was very insistent.
And, you know, Snowman did point out she's got a nice ass.
Yes, operator.
this is a collect call from Cletus Snow.
Another thing you don't get a lot of these days is collect calls.
Collect calls were still a thing, what, 20 years ago? I mean...
Yeah.
Like what?
Because not everyone had cell phones at that point. There were still payphones around.
Bandit, steal a lady's heart with only a smile.
This song.
You the bandit. They call you
I want to.
bandit.
There's no way. That hair is like perfect under that hat. For how long?
Right.
They haven't taken a shower for how long?
At least 24 hours.
Kiss your goddamn mutt.
Honey, I gotta go. I gotta go back.
Oh yeah, you do not do that.
I don't think Fred bit you, mister. But Fred absolutely don't like grease.
8384. Never mind. Just keep the change.
73.84 for what?
Gas. There's a lot of gas that goes in those trucks.
I know, but I'm pretty sure 7384 is what bought Bandit's car.
He may have gotten his ass kicked, but he got his revenge.
Nice.
I'm telling you for the last time, I happen to have my young son in the car, and I don't want to hear that kind of language.
I hope you'll accept my apologies for my profanity.
Apology accepted. No.
I was gonna say, I don't know why he's sitting there complaining about profanity, considering all the crap that's been coming out of his mouth this whole movie.
He doesn't want to be disrespected. It's a
Yeah.
principle, you know? I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
We heard you were coming by, and we decided we'd take care of those bears for you. You know, a little personalized service.
Well, just send me the bill, Foxy lady.
Hey, listen.
But I'm just ahead of you on his mile marker. 86. Come on by, Bandit.
All right, you talk me into it.
Nah, I got that some bitch.
Well, what are we gonna do when we get home?
Go to bed. For a week.
Good idea.
And sleep.
I feel like if they made a remake of Smokey and the Bandit, that prostitute Kate McKinnon would have been great at doing her exactly. I thought of her immediately when she was talking on the radio.
I love the fact that right there, though, Sally Field, it was the one that was just, he's sitting there going, when we get home, we're going to go to bed for a week to sleep. And she's like, want to bet? That she's the one that's, being the, yeah, we're totally going to bang,
So did they not yet?
I mean, they didn't show that whole scene, so it's still possible.
Am I led to believe that he only takes his hat off to make out? Because that's not what I was expecting.
Right. Here we go. Here's the other version.
Yeah, Eastbound and Down is what I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same.
That old guy right there, I recognize him from some old John Wayne movies.
Yeah.
I have just apprehended the bandit. No, sir. You just apprehended my captain.
I like, no, sir, you're mistaken. The officer of the law with these prostitutes is my father. Oh.
Well,
sorry.
there was no dash cams back then, so...
I get it. It's funny that,
It's time you truckers learn these roads don't belong to you, boy. Yeah, I know that. You be careful, you hear?
Frog with the assist.
Mm-hmm.
You all right? Yeah. Son, don't you know this ain't Sandy? Thanks a lot.
Well, based on the police car, they're in Georgia.
Yeah, they're safe from Buford T. Justice, who has observed state lines up to this point.
Disregard my last transmission.
I think that's one of the fun things about making movies like this, is just the fun of destroying some of the cars.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the budget just went into that.
Making cop cars they could destroy.
Destroying cop cars, destroying wedding dresses.
We're coming at you, darling. Are you ready?
Ready, willing, and able, Bandit.
Ready and willing. She always was.
Ready and willing, she always was. Yeah, I don't know that a single car roadblock really works. And here comes Buford. And there went his muffler.
I do feel like it's been a while since we've seen him, compared to the rest of the movie.
Right.
It's me they're after. They don't even know Cletus Snow exists. Oh, they don't? Well, I tell you what we're gonna do. We're just gonna introduce them to the boy.
So move on a little bit, good buddy, because the snowman is coming through.
That's a turn. Oh my god. I like that guy had to like toss his beer so he could start to blow a trumpet. It didn't even happen. No way that truck could make that turn.
Daddy, you're about to have your evening ruined for you.
Damn, we're 10 minutes early.
In trouble?
I know we're in trouble. Look, we need two things. We need a way out of here. We need the money.
Well, here's my Cadillac. That'll leave me with an even dozen. Good luck, son.
Oh, wait a minute. What about double or nothing?
You run up to Boston and bring back some clam chowder for me and my daddy?
You're on.
You're on.
In 18 hours?
You're still on. You're crazy. And I'm divorced.
Give me 500 on the Bandit.
There we are. Who da?
Boy, I tell you where I am. I'm right down the bottom of the hill, Sheriff. I'm 6'8" in a cowboy outfit. I got a little pygmy standing right beside me, dressed just like me. You can't miss me. I can't lie to you, Sheriff. You're too good a man. Look over your left shoulder.
Pretty bold there.
Don't leave me. Who's gonna hold your hand?
Eastbound down, loaded up and
Okay, so what did I think? First of all, what was this movie? Mid-late 70s? 76, 70, what did you say?
77. Same month and year as
77.
Star Wars.
Jackie Gleason had another good, roughly, 10 years left in his life at that point. Why did they not make a Buford T. Justice spinoff series? Had this been a streaming era, there would have been a Buford T. Justice spinoff series.
There are 2 sequels to this movie.
2?
Yes. Now,
There's no way they were good.
The third one isn't. The second one is still good. The third one is not so good. All 3 of them did have Jackie Gleason and Buford T. Justice. The Smokey and the Bandit 2 was was good. So yeah, I think, they knew they had, a pretty good little franchise going with this. The third movie, Burt Reynolds didn't come back other than for a cameo. And that's one of the reasons why the third one didn't do so well.
I would say, overall, I'll just give very high level thought on this. It's obviously initial impression. It's late. I'm a little groggy from sitting through this movie. I enjoyed it though, and I will tell you that it very quotable. I could see where anyone that's watched this, whatever you've said 20 something times or whatever you claimed to have seen it, it's very quotable. Anyone that I think that is into cars, like if there was ever a future gearhead out there, I would not be surprised if there are a lot of people that their story is that this movie was one of the ones that influenced them to really go down that road.
Well, no, I also think this movie inspired a lot of people to love the Trans Am also.
Sure. It's like Fast and Furious in the Toyota Supra. Like I can understand with like a car movie. In this case, it was a very, they definitely showed off the sort of the action and the damage that can be caused to these cars. It was just chaotic in that regard. And yeah, there was some, I could see it. I know people that love cars, and this would have been a big influence for them if they were younger watching this.
It's a fun movie. Jackie Gleason was absolutely fantastic. He had all the, don't get me wrong, some of the others had some good lines, but Jackie Gleason got all the best lines, and his delivery was just fantastic.
Yeah, he surprised me. I always know, obviously he's a comedic actor and all that good stuff, right? But I don't even know, and I don't know, I haven't seen everything with Jackie Gleason, of course, but pretty sure he's originally from New York. It was weird hearing him do a Southern accent. Is there anything else, film or television, that he was doing that prior to this?
I'd have to go through his discography, but it's definitely a different role for him, because he's kind of playing a villain, and that's not I don't think necessarily something he did a lot of. I'm not saying it's the only time he may have played the kind of sort of the bad guy, but in this he kind of played a bad guy that you just loved. I mean, that was another thing about this movie was like, yeah, Buford was the cop that was trying to catch him, but you kind of loved him for it, you know? I mean, every little moment he was on the screen was just kind of gold, and his interactions with his son were just amazing.
Very old school sort of slapstick for sure.
Oh yeah, they had a good time with this movie. They absolutely had a good time. Besides destroying all the cars, you know, this would have been one of those movies if they had already started doing like the bloopers during the credits. I could only imagine the different outtakes that there would have been for this movie. And I suspect there was a lot anyway, because there was obviously numerous parts where they did overdubs. So whatever may have been initially said was not what made it into the film itself, because they obviously did a lot of overdubs. And Jerry Reed as Snowman, great job. You know, obviously singing the songs, and
he played the role well.
Oh yeah, he absolutely did. I really appreciate from a soundtrack standpoint the fact that they had a Westbound and Down when they're heading towards Texas, and an Eastbound and Down when they're coming back from Texas.
I don't know. I couldn't help but think about when watching it. You know, there are some, you know, jokes and observations and things that were a product of the era, particularly in the South. And I couldn't help but think, like, if there's no way, of all the things they try to remake these days, this is one of those few that I feel like is just at the time that it could have worked. I feel like nowadays it would just be like, I don't know. I could just see where they would just they go too far or like really lean into just making fun of the South. Whereas this kind of did that, at least today, watching it in the year 2022, watching it, I'm thinking like, this is ridiculous, the South and whatever, like the way that they're characterizing it. But it also wasn't insulting. It was like the perfect mix of like we're having fun with this. And I don't know that you could do that and it still work today quite to the degree it did in this film.
And Burt Reynolds said it when he was, you know, when they were stretching their legs through the park or whatever. And, you know, he more or less, you know, implied the idea that, you know, your intelligence differs based on where you are at in the country. Sally Field did a great job as well. I think her chemistry with Burt Reynolds, obvious. They did, besides the sequel to this, they've done other stuff like Hooper. So yeah, they've always had a great chemistry, and they were a couple, a major couple around the time this was made and everything. So, but they had some great chemistry in her character, a lot of fun. You know, she played that chattermouth, you know, where his character to a certain extent was a little bit more stoic in a lot of the scenes. She added that extra kind of commentary and reason for explanation when there wouldn't have been one, right? He had to explain it to her, which by doing so explained it all to us.
In her own way, she was kind of, she was very frenetic, but she also kind of served as, at times, that kind of outside view of what was going on. She just got thrown into the mix, kind of like we did as viewers. So it worked out well in that regard. But yeah, I agree. Her performance was great, and they work well together. So it's interesting that they all came back for the sequel. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because obviously I haven't seen it. But when you said there were two more, I thought one of those three maybe came back. So, and look, if you're watching this and enough of you are checking us out and appreciate me watching a film that I have never seen, and Adam watching a film that's been around for a long time that he's seen many times, tell us if you want us to watch a sequel. We'll do it, but we just need to push in the right direction. Speaking of push in any direction, I've had a few pours during this hour and a half movie plus our final thoughts, and I do need to take a 10-100. So,
which is better than a 10-200.
I'm going to argue that one, but that's for another video. I don't know that I fully agree. I understand where they're coming from, but
well, in any case, love to hear your comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know what to do. And until next time, this is Adam and Andrew with It Takes Two Takes.
Don't you ever raise your voice to me. Do you know who you're talking to? I happen to be Buford T. Justice. A distinguished officer of over 30 years seniority. One of the most highly respected law enforcement agents in the United States of America.